Okay, I think we're live. Hi guys. Welcome to this week's call. So far, so good. We're making this a um, mostly frequent occasion. I am trying to be better at being scheduled with things and making sure we're doing them on a weekly basis. That helps me out. It's not my tendency. I tend to be really good at doing things for a few weeks and then it just piddles out. I'm sure you've noticed that. But I'm trying to get more organized and get better. So my hope is to have this call most every Monday night. And if you watch it live, that's awesome. The main reason I want to do these is because I know all of us are busy, and Chris does his calls, which, if you guys can make those calls, I think he's been doing them on Sunday nights, then that's awesome. And if you don't make these live, I don't really care. Just try and watch it sometime throughout the week. I'm going to try and speak to things that you specifically need more information on or need to hear, or like what I'm talking about tonight, I was talking about with another coach, and I realized it would be good to share it with you guys. So this is just going to be like valuable information for you. So try not to skip out on it. And I realize those of you that are watching it are going to hear that, and those of you that won't. So it's kind of pointless for me to say that, but whatever. So speaking to the 3 vital behaviors: invite, proof the product works, personal development. We all know those things are important. Those really are the only things you need to be doing. I wanted to kind of share, I'm reading The Slight Edge, and I wanted to share my aha moment for the week, or I want to try and share with you what I'm doing, because if I'm telling you to do something, I should be doing it too. So this week I read this quote by Frank Lloyd Wright, and I just thought it was really good. Anyway, I'm just going to read it. No stream rises higher than its source. Whatever man might build could never express or reflect more than he was. He could record neither more nor less than he had learned of life when the buildings were built. His philosophy, true or false, is there. The greatest gift you could ever give yourself is also the wisest business investment you could ever make. It is also the most critical step in accomplishing any challenging task, and is the one step without which all other success strategies, no matter how brilliant or time-tested, are doomed to fail. What is this mysterious gift? Is your own personal development. And I talk a ton about personal development, and some of you do it, some of you don't. I will say your business will rise and fall on the amount of personal development that you do. It's probably more important than your workouts, which is heresy for a fitness coach. But really, if you're not working on yourself and your confidence and your belief in who you are, in your passion, in I stand firm where I'm at, and I'm not gonna waver, and I'm not gonna be moved. If you're not working on that, it's really hard to be successful in a business where you're working with people and where people disagree and tell you no all the time. It's gonna be really hard, and so that's why I push personal development so much. And I'm not amazing at it. I struggle with it. It's so easy to not do personal development. It's so easy to do my workouts and reach out to people and not work on myself. And that's very typical, that we're the ones that we help last. But I will say, for those of you, maybe you're listening to this call and you're struggling, you are either not inviting daily, you're either not connecting with people daily, or you're not consistently working out, or you're not doing your personal development. If you are doing all 3 of those on a consistent basis, yeah, I mean, we're working with people, so we'll have ups and downs, but you're not going to be struggling. Those of you that are struggling, it's because you're not doing 1, 2, or all 3 of those 3 things. If you do those 3 things, you will make it. And I was talking to a coach today about what we talked about last week, momentum. And if you didn't listen to last week's call, go listen to it. And if you feel like you don't have the time, like, put it on while you're making dinner. But I was talking about momentum and how it's so easy to get discouraged right at first because you don't have that fire built. You don't have, the train isn't going. You're like putting all this energy into getting momentum, and you're not seeing results right away. You're getting discouraged. You're putting all this time in and not really seeing the fruit of it yet. So it's really easy to get discouraged. But if you are not doing those 3 things every day, you're not going to make it. You just won't. And chances are, if you're struggling, well, I know if you're struggling, you're not doing one of those 3 things on a consistent basis. So do your personal development tonight. Do it before you go to bed. Just 10 minutes, even if it's 10 minutes a day. 10 minutes at night and 10 minutes in the morning is great because you're ending your day and you're starting your day feeding yourself, which is important. Okay, so tonight I want to talk about inviting. Invite. Typically, if you are struggling to get Success Club points, if you're struggling to get coaches, if you're struggling, if your group's really quiet, it's because you're not inviting people. You're not adding people to your group. You're not inviting people to 5-day clean eating challenges. You don't have enough people to get people to buy challenge packs. Because if you think about it, if you only added 5 people in the last 2 months, you don't have people to ask to invite to the challenge. You need about 20 people to hit Success Club. That's at least been my 10 to 20. It just really depends. But you need fresh people. You need to add fresh people to your fitness groups. You need to have people to add to your clean eating groups. You need to then have those people add your challenge groups. So you always need new people. And really that's just connecting with people on a daily basis. And some of you guys use Twitter. I just stick with Instagram, but you don't have to do what I do. The same principles apply anywhere. Basically, I guess I'll just talk about what I do and kind of what I wanted to speak to tonight. I was talking to one of the coaches this week who was struggling with getting people to connect with them on Facebook, and then getting people to click the link and like sign up for joining your fitness group. So I wanted to kind of speak to that. The first thing I will say is remember that you're not after a free client. Yes, it's great. Like getting them to sign up on your team is great. But if all you're doing is signing up free clients and it's not going anywhere, ultimately that's not your goal. So I want you to worry less about signing them up on your team right away. And sometimes I find that that link really like scares people off, especially if they're not familiar with Beachbody. I think what used to be the case was, you know, a year, 2 years ago, there weren't as many Beachbody coaches, so we could get away with connecting with people that are doing Insanity and P90X, and we could connect with people that are already doing all these programs and kind of knew the Beachbody culture and invite them to be part of our fitness group, because either they had a coach and they had never heard from them, or they had never had a coach. And that can still kind of be the case sometimes, but because there are so many Beachbody coaches now, we're really having to, and I don't say that to discourage you, there are tons of clients out there, tons. The way it works in social media and online is you're always shifting, you're always changing. It used to be that we could go on the fan pages. I don't know if you guys remember this, but when I first started coaching, I could go on the P90X page on Facebook and I could get a few clients a day. Like, it was just super easy. And it's different now. It's not worse. It's not better. It's just different because stuff is always changing, and I think we just have to be able to adapt, and I am not very quick to adapt, so I tend to struggle for a little bit anytime I have to adapt to a different situation. So yeah, it's just different now. So I think you really have to be aware that sometimes that sign up on my team or fill out your information on this link, that little thing could be something that scares somebody away. So what I've found lately is instead of sending them that link right away, I'm not even concerned with that, because if when they purchase something, I can send them my link, or if I just watch my orders. So if somebody happens to purchase something and I don't see the credit for them, most people are totally fine with calling up customer service and making sure you get credit. I would say 99% of the time, people are willing to do that. So what I've been doing is getting people plugged into something. So adding them to my 5-day clean eating group, because though you can have them be your client, I think you need, it takes kind of being sensitive and being aware that not everybody's familiar with our culture, and that could be something that it throws them off enough to not want, they'll fall off the face of the earth, you never hear from them again. We've all had that happen. So, I think it just takes an awareness. Some people I will just know right off the bat that it's totally fine to send them that link. And I add value to the group. I mean, we all know that. I have this fitness group on Facebook I'd love to add you to. We help motivate each other. We share fitness tips and recipes. Is that something that would interest you? And then when they say yes, then I say, awesome, just click the link below and fill out your information. And what I tell them is, this helps me stay in contact with you. I send out monthly newsletters and I do contests monthly. So this gives me a chance to be able to connect with you. And then, what I have been using more lately is the 5-day clean eating groups. But anyway, that's a topic for another call, and I've kind of already talked about that. So inviting people. I think it's really important to listen and engage with what people are saying. I think it's very easy to not do that. I know I struggle with this. It's really easy to just copy and paste or kind of glaze over, just glance at what they wrote and then ask them another question. I think you want to be very careful, and you want that person to feel like you're engaging with them. So if they're sharing with you, make sure that you acknowledge that you've heard them. And I think that's one of the biggest mistakes I see people make is you're connecting with somebody, and it's not that you're in a rush. Well, maybe you are. It's not necessarily that you're in a rush to get them over to Facebook, but it's like you are so about the question, you forget to listen to the answer and really engage. And people really sense whether or not you're listening to them. If you're like, bam, 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 question, 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 people are going to feel interrogated. And I think, we want to make it about them. We don't want to say a lot about us, but I think there's a way to converse with somebody that's not just question, 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 because that can feel kind of like you're interrogating them. And they won't feel that connection with you. You want people to feel connected with you. You want them to come over to Facebook. You want them to engage with what you're posting about. You want them to connect with your 5-day clean eating group. So it's really, I want you to think this week while you're inviting people, am I listening to them? Am I engaging with what they're saying? Am I connecting with them? And it doesn't take that much more work. It's just really being mentally aware of where you're at. And I know I so easily get in that question, 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 don't say anything about myself, which, don't go on and on about yourself, but I think it's okay to share a little bit. Anything that gets you to connect with them and make that connection. You want it to be impossible for them to not message you back. Because generally, if people don't message you back, if they fall off the face of the earth, something happened there where you didn't connect with them. And it's really difficult online because you're not talking with somebody, you're messaging them. So it's really difficult to feel that connection. So just be aware of that this week while you're reaching out to people. am I connecting with people? Am I engaging with what they're saying? Another thing is, if what you're doing is not working, change what you're doing. If you're spending, I know one of the coaches I was talking to was like, I just spent hours and I didn't connect with anybody. Well, something's going on there. Either the people that you're reaching out to are not the right people, the way you're doing it is not coming off the right way. Feel free to take screenshots of your interactions with people and send them to me. I'm not an expert, but I am another pair of eyes, and I'm a different personality, and I could give you some pointers or maybe point out some things that you're doing that maybe you're not aware of, or maybe something's going on there that's tripping you up. It could be something little, and you don't have to send it to me if you have a success partner, whatever. But if you feel like you're spending time reaching out to people and you're just not making connections, like, engage with somebody about that. Show them your conversations, because chances are you're just doing something that needs to be tweaked a little bit. And we all have that. So what I really wanted to talk about tonight was knowing who your ideal client is and who your ideal client is not. Who you absolutely don't want and who you absolutely do want. And I think in the beginning, we're so hungry to connect with people and sign coaches that we'll just take anyone and everyone. And we'll really run ourselves ragged, getting quantity instead of quality. So I wanted to kind of speak to that tonight and share with you kind of what I do and kind of a mode I've kind of shifted into for that. So as far as clients, your ideal client, what I want you to do right now is pause this video, and I want you to write down a list. If you think about think about the last client of yours that was just easy, like you connected with them, it felt so easy. They were eager to join your challenge group or your 5-day clean eating group, and maybe they had like some questions or objections, but it wasn't difficult. It felt easy. It felt like you connected with them really well. I want you to, or maybe you have, I don't know, maybe you don't. If you can't think of that, I mean, you all should be able to. But if you think about it, if you could choose, who would you fill your fitness group with, your coaches, who would your coaches be? What does that ideal client look like? So pause this and write down who your ideal client is. Okay, so you wrote that down. I will share with you kind of who my ideal client is. And I have a picture. I couldn't find it. And if you guys can, draw a picture and put it up on your bulletin board. And I'm going to kind of speak to that in a minute. But my ideal client is a mother between 25 and 40. Typically, she has younger kids, but she doesn't have to. And she's either a stay-at-home mom or maybe she works. She's a working mom too, but she's really busy. And she's really getting into, she's either been into or is really getting into, you know, eating healthy, making meals for her family. She is either really passionate about fitness or maybe is getting into it and has some weight she wants to lose, but there's like a desire there. She is pretty laid back and easygoing. She really enjoys the outdoors. She loves to help people, and she's an encourager. She wants to encourage people. And maybe she's looking for a little bit extra income. Maybe she's kind of business-minded and looking for another stream of income, but she's not really sure what that's going to be. But she's, you know, she's got her eyes open for something. So that's kind of my ideal client. And not all of my clients have to fit into that mold, and not all my clients have to become coaches. But this is the thing that's so important. When you're making your posts on Instagram, when you're making your videos, when you're writing notes on Facebook, when you're inviting to challenge groups, when you're inviting to your clean eating challenge, it is so hard to shoot something, to hit something that you're not aiming at. So if you just have this like, well, I'm just going to make these posts, yeah, they're probably going to be okay and you'll get some people, but if you're really honed in on who your client is and you're making your videos and you're making your posts specifically to that person, you're going to have a lot more luck with getting people to engage with what you're saying. And that's not to say, I mean, I have men, I have older women, I have women that are moms that engage with what I'm saying, but I try and really like focus and hone in on that specific person that I'm speaking to, and I'm able to hit that because I'm focused in on that. So I want you this week to really think about that. Who's my ideal client, and how can I kind of tailor what I'm saying, how I'm saying it, what I'm posting, how can I really tailor it to that person? And also, while you're reaching out to people, I am pretty choosy about who I even start reaching out to on Instagram. I don't, if somebody has sleazy stuff on their page, typically men, unfortunately, or women, like if they're just like complaining and bitching about stuff, I'm probably not going to reach out to them because that's not going to be somebody that's going to be my ideal client. So I'm just not going to waste my time on somebody like that. I'm going to look for people that are posting clean eating pictures. I'm going to look for people that are posting their workout pictures. I mean, yeah, again, like, or, you know, busy moms. Oh, look at this great meal I found on the go. It's a clean meal. I'm so excited I found something I can feed my kids, it's healthy. I'm looking for those type of things. Those are the people that I want to reach out to. So I'm really weeding out people right away. I'm weeding out people like right off the bat that I just don't engage with other people because I'm really focusing in on who my target market is right off the bat. And I find that I really have a lot more success with those people because I've already narrowed down a ton of people. And when they then go look on my Instagram page, they see that I connect with them. I'm a mom. I've got young kids. I'm about eating clean. I'm about going out for a bike ride on Saturdays. I am busy. I am looking for quick ways that I can eat healthy. So they're connecting with me. It would be different if I was messaging some dude that's like wanting to build mass. Well, yeah, I mean, good for him. But if he goes on my page, he's not going to feel like he connects with me or relates with me. And maybe, you know, I could connect with him somehow. I mean, I have some of you guys I've connected with, and some of you guys I've been able to, you know, your coaches. But I would say the majority of the time I really connect with women because I'm a woman, and I connect with moms because I'm a mom, and I connect with people that are kind of business-minded because I'm business-minded. So that really kind of ups my success because right off the bat I'm focusing in on people that I know when they come to my Instagram or they come to my Twitter or they come to my Facebook, they're already going to connect with me. So there's like going to be this instant connection. So I think that is really important. So now that you know who your ideal client is, who is not your ideal client? What are the red flags? And I think this is so important because it is so easy for us to get sucked into those people because there's maybe this glimmer of hope of a sale. And I've found that I don't even waste my time with people that are on my no-no list because it is a waste of time. I have reached out to those people. I've messaged them and messaged them and messaged them. I have, because they gave me this little glimmer that maybe they'll purchase something, and it never follows through. So these are the people that are on my no-no list. People that are negative. And typically somebody that's negative on their news feed, I have, what is the little thing that you can, I've unfollowed them. So I don't see anything that they post on my news feed. If somebody's posting negative stuff, I unfollow them. We're still friends, but I don't see anything they post in my news feed. I just have no desire. And they see, I guess they see what I post, unless they decide to not follow me too, because I'm my positive, success-driven mindset is bothering them. But yeah, I unfollow people very quickly because that affects me. If I see, this is a good example. Anybody that you always see like rant alert, or I just have to have a rant, I unfollow them. If I see that, because typically those people do that often, and I don't need to get riled up by their drama, which is totally what it does for me. So I am, my ideal client, the kind of client that I don't want is somebody that's all about drama. Somebody that does not take responsibility. So for those people, it's always somebody else's fault. There's always some reason why it's someone else's fault. They can't afford a program or a challenge pack, or it's so expensive. They don't take responsibility for what they choose to spend their money on. Because honestly, $140, everybody can save that. You're either spending on alcohol or cigarettes or fast food or going out to eat or going to the movies or gas or feeding your dogs and cats, which is totally fine if you want to make that choice. But if somebody is dying because they're obese and they're choosing to spend that money on their dog or cat, like, I'm sad for them. I want them to spend it on their health and be a healthy person. So yeah, somebody that does not take responsibility, I don't want to work with. If they change, if they start taking responsibility, I'll totally work with them. But if they're not willing to take responsibility, I don't want to work with them. Somebody that's full of excuses, there's always an excuse for everything. Objections you can overcome because, oh, Shakeology is expensive. Well, no, it's not. What do you spend on dinner, and what would you say your average, cost is for dinner? Most people are like, oh, $5 or $6 probably. Okay, awesome. Well, Shakeology is actually meant to be a meal, and it's the most nutritious meal you could ever have. It's actually your fruits, veggies, vitamins, and minerals for the entire day, and it's $4. And not only is it only $4 and it's all that, but it's actually going to set you up to eat less throughout the day. So you're actually going to save money on going out to eat, on getting coffee, on anything where cravings are involved, because you're feeding your body right. And basically what you're doing is you're saying, I'm going to make this investment up front. So you're paying for 30 meals all at once, which feels like more, but when you look at it, it's almost half of what you would normally spend on dinner. So no, it's totally not expensive. But that's an objection, and a lot of times with people, if I have not connected with why they're wanting to do this, if I really haven't stirred that up enough, they'll have an objection. And it's just a reminder for me that I need to really, again, don't just plop through the 5 steps. Really listen to people, engage with them. It's okay to copy and paste, but you need to remember that sometimes that comes across as very a canned approach or very formulaic, and you need to remember to make it relatable, make it engaging. So yeah, just like with your posts, but Objections are not an issue. Excuses, somebody that's just full of excuses, they're always gonna have excuses, because really what they're telling you is they're not ready. They're not uncomfortable enough, really. Until we're uncomfortable, we won't change. If I'm comfortable where I'm at, why should I be uncomfortable? Why should I do workouts that make me uncomfortable? Why should I spend money that makes me uncomfortable if I'm comfortable where I'm at? So somebody that doesn't take responsibility, somebody that's negative, and somebody that makes excuses all the time, those are not people that I want for clients. Those are my 3 no-nos. And I will not go after those people. And you can tell pretty quickly, just looking on somebody's wall, who they are and what they're about. So write down who is your no-no client? Like, what are the attributes of that person? Another thing for me is I do not want anybody that's in college. Typically, people that are in college, they don't know what they're doing yet. They're young. They want to just enjoy things. There aren't a lot of people that are in college that are driven and in the mindset of, I'm going to be here a year from now, because they're living in the moment and they don't know what they're doing next year. And I'm not saying, again, I have coaches that are college students, and some of my coaches have coaches that are college students. That's not a blanket statement, but I don't speak specifically to those people. I don't seek out college students. If somebody comes along and is total rock star and committed, then of course I'll say yes. But typically I don't go for a college student. And typically I won't go for somebody that's, 50, 60, 70, just because I don't relate with them. I like them just fine. My parents are that age, but that's not somebody that will go on my Instagram again and feel like we're relatable, because I'm young and I'm a mom and I'm in business and I am primarily online. So yeah, be aware of who is not your ideal client. Who's somebody that you don't want to work with. Write it down, maybe draw a picture, and as you're reaching out to people this week, don't waste your time on those people. Don't just go for numbers. Don't go for the quantity. Go for the quality. And I think that you'll find that the time that you're investing in reaching out to people will be more worthwhile, because you're reaching out to people that are going to connect with you. So that is pretty much what I had for this week. If you're inviting, if you're working out, and if you're doing your personal development, you're going to do awesome. But you have to keep doing those things, and you have to stay consistent until you build that momentum up. There's a gal on the Team Motivate page right now who she connected with me, but she's been a coach for 3 months, and she's like a rock star. Let me see. I'm going to try and find her name, because you should look her up and at least follow her and see what she's been posting. So she's a newer coach, and her name's Caitlin Gunnells, Gunnells, and she's been a coach, for just like a few months, and she's trying to get to Diamond before Summit. So go and follow her, and see what she's posting, see how she's posting things. And let me see if I can find her on here, and I'll show you her picture. Or whatever, you can find her. She's on Team Motivate, but she's been having a lot of success with the 5-day clean eating groups. And I think she has last month she had 30 Success Club points. So she's doing something right, and she talks a lot about inviting people, following up with people. But if you look at what she's posting, she's speaking to someone. like she's aiming for her ideal client, and she's getting that. So go follow her. She has a video that she's posted. I think that I posted it in our group. I think that I did, about inviting or reaching out to people. So you can look that up. But anyway, go follow her and just check out what she's posting, because she's a newer coach, but she got momentum really fast, and she's keeping that momentum. And I think that is really the hardest time, is like getting it and keeping it. So yeah, do those things this week, and when you're done drawing your picture of your ideal client or whatever, post it in the group. I would love to hear who your ideal client is. Maybe we'll do a prize or something for that. But that's going to be something that's going to be really important. It's going to be really a time saver for you, because then you can really go after your ideal client instead of just like shooting in the dark and hitting all these people, and some of them are connecting and some of them are totally not. And then, you know, like that example I gave of that guy that's gaining mass, I could have spent 20 minutes trying to connect with him and it just didn't quite work. Whereas if you're really going for people that you're more connected with, then you're going to have an easier time of relating with them and connecting with them. Also, if you're doing personal development, you're going to get better clients, because guess what? You're going to be growing, you're going to be changing, who you're connecting with is going to be different. So chances are, if you're growing and changing and becoming more successful and becoming more confident, you're going to start connecting and attracting those people. You're not going to connect and attract those people maybe now, but in the future. And the more you grow, the more you develop, the more confidence you get, the more your clients will be elevated in that. You'll find it's really interesting. Your business totally follows your personal growth, because exactly what I said, people will be connected to you and connected with who you are. And when you rise, the people that you're connecting with will rise. So if you want better clients, if you want better coaches, if you want people that are more determined and more disciplined, well, you need to grow so that you're attracting those kind of people. So do your personal development. Okay, get on your client thing. Share with me who your ideal client is. I'm interested, and I'll try and find my picture and share it with you guys. All right, look forward to our call next week, and let me know if there's something you want me to talk specifically about next week. I would love to have ideas and hear from you about things you specifically want to learn. All right, talk to you guys later. Good night.